Today I'm adding the lazy loading attribute to images in this masonry layout of articles. Then I'll create a JavaScript filter to sort those articles. First, let's create a script.js file, and I'm going to link that in the head of my HTML document. I add that after the links to my style sheets, and I make sure to include the defer attribute so that script actually loads after the DOM has loaded. A little bit of context on what the loading attribute is. The MDN web docs says that the loading attribute on an image or an iframe can be used to instruct the browser to defer loading of images or iframes that are off screen until the user scrolls near them. This allows, and that's the key word, allows non-critical resources to load only if needed, potentially speeding up initial page loads and reducing network usage. So here's what's happening. Lazy loading doesn't guarantee delayed loading, it allows it. If the image is close enough to the viewport on load, the browser is just going to go ahead and load everything immediately. There's generally a default threshold of about 300 to 500 pixels outside the viewport. So when you have long pages filled with images, lazy loading is really helpful in not forcing the browser to load everything at once. So if you have a small page of images, even if it's outside the browser viewport, you may still see those images loading if it's within that default threshold. And to get started, I'm just going to go ahead and select all of the images on my page and add loading equals lazy. Next, in order to build our filter, we need to build some buttons. To start, I'll create a div with a class of article buttons, and I'll put this outside of the article parent container wrap. Next, I'm going to add 5 buttons with a class of button. On the first button, I'm going to add an additional class of active, and that's for styling. And for each of our 5 buttons, we have all articles. The categories are free PDFs, lifestyle tips and advice, and tutorials. I'm also going to add a data category attribute for each of these categories. Next, I'm going to add a corresponding data category to each of the articles. And each article has a div with the category. We can see that here in the markup, and we can also see that here on the front end on our site. And you can see that we also already have our buttons appearing up at the top of the page. And we're going to go ahead and style these, but you can see that these buttons are here now at the top of the page. Now we have a set of buttons with a data category that matches the articles that also have a corresponding data category. Next, we'll go ahead and write our JavaScript. I'll create a function called article filter. And we'll define our button array. Then we'll define an array for all of our articles. Next, we'll loop through all of the buttons with a for each. The first thing that we're going to do inside of the for each loop is add an event listener on each button. So we'll say button dot add event listener, and it will be a click. Inside the event listener, we'll define a variable for the category. Next, we're going to update the active button. So by default, we have an active class on all articles because on page load, we want all articles to display to the user. But as we click buttons, we want to remove the active class and add it to the button that's actually been clicked. So again, we're going to loop through all of the buttons and remove any button that has an active class. We have to do that first. We have to remove any button that has active. Then we have to add the active class to the button that we just clicked. Next, we're going to loop through each article and check the data category. And I'll create a variable for the article category and get the attribute data category. If category equals all or category equals the article category, do nothing. So article inline style display, do nothing. Else, if it does not match the button that was clicked, apply the inline style display none, do not display that article. And we'll check to see if our filter is working. And it is working. So now we can see that we have a really simple, straightforward way to filter through using HTML attributes, and data category is just an HTML attribute that we came up with a little bit of JavaScript. We can go ahead and match up the button, and we can match up the article to create this filter. And we can also see, if we look at our buttons, we can see that active class being removed and added to the new button. So let's go ahead and style our buttons a little bit, make them look just a little bit prettier. So in my style.css, my class is article buttons. We'll start with that. And I'm going to give this a max width of 75 rems. And I'm going to say margin 0 auto. That will center the container on screen. Buttons by default are inline elements, so we can also say text align center. And that will center them nicely on the page. Next, we'll style the buttons themselves. So we'll say button, background color, white. Border, 2 pixels, solid, and I'm going to give them a dark black charcoal gray color. Next, we can add some padding. I'm going to put 1 rem of padding on the top and 2 rems of padding on the left and right. Next, let's give some special styles to that active class. So we'll say button.active. And for this, the background color will be black. But the color will be white. The text color will be white. Now we want to make sure that when we hover on these buttons or we're clicking on these buttons, we have the active styles. So next, I want to add additional selectors to these styles. So I'm just going to put a comma and say button, hover, comma, button active, comma, and button focus. So now when we are hovering, we are also getting those, I like to call this "you are here" or active navigation styles. But let's smooth out that transition a little bit. So we'll say transition, background color. I usually do 300 milliseconds and ease in out. And then we can also transition the color, also 300 milliseconds, also ease in out. You could just say all. I've gotten into the habit of specifically naming what it is that I'm transitioning. So you can see here now that we have a lot smoother transition. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add cursor pointer. So our pointer changes. Buttons by default, the cursor generally does not change. So now we have a cursor change also. And I think the final thing that I'm going to do on this container is we'll go ahead and add some margin to the bottom of the container just to push that down a little bit. Very nice. Next, let's go ahead and check our responsive styles. So our masonry columns are responsive, our buttons, not so much. So let's go ahead and add a media query to change that. So right here, we'll say at media, and I'll say max width. I'll say 768 pixels, which is roughly the landscape orientation of an iPad. And we'll say button, display block. So we're going to change those from an inline element to a block level element. And then we'll say width 100%. Check and see how that looks. And let's give it a little margin, and let's give our container a little bit of padding. So we'll add some padding. I'm going to add 0 on the top and bottom, 1 rem on the left and right. And then on the desktop version of the button, I'll say margin 0. But then, of course, we'll go ahead and change it for our mobile styles, and we'll say margin 1 rem on the top and bottom, 0 on the left and right. So now we have some nice mobile-friendly styles as well. Beautiful. And that's it for our tutorial on lazy loading and adding a vanilla JavaScript filter. I will leave a link to the repository on GitHub down in the description. Feel free to use this for any of your projects, whether it's a commercial or personal project, and happy coding.